What is going on, YouTube? Happy Friday. What a terrible football game yesterday. That was super boring. But anyway, we'll cover our recap. We're going to go over an 8-game NBA slate. I'm going to give you my 9 best bets. We got a lot of best bets today. We'll delve into this. But before we do that, guys, subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. And if you want to join the Discord, the link is down below. I gave out about 4 or 5 plays last night to keep an eye on, and the majority of those lines did jump. So hopefully if you're in the Discord, you were able to get on those lines early before they moved. All right, so let's see, what else did we do? We hit a plus 200 in the Discord last night. We had a little bit of a correlation play with Horford under his rebounds and Porzingis over his rebounds. That cashed thanks to a blowout. Got a little lucky. But we also had some L's in there. We gave out 2 NFL plays in the Discord, and there was no offense whatsoever. So those were a busto. Let's cover our recap here. So we went 3-2 yesterday. We'll take that. We went 3-2 in the NFL. We went 2-2 in the NBA. A little unlucky in the NBA. We had Jacob Poeltl over 2.5 assists. He was not supposed to play. He was going to be a late scratch. He got scratched from the starting lineup with back spasms. Unfortunately, Bruno Fernando ended up going out of the game with an injury, which forced him into playing. He looked terrible. You could tell he was just an absolute agony, just trying to gut through it. We needed 3 assists. He got 2. If he plays his normal minutes, we easily carry this line. So a little unfortunate that he just didn't play. And then the other one we took an L on the NBA was CJ McCollum over 3.5 rebounds. Had the opportunities, had it. I thought he was going to get it, but he didn't. He hooked at 3. So it is what it is there. The 2 that we hit in the NBA was Bam Adebayo over 15.5 rebounds plus assists. Stupid sweat free. And then Yves Missy over 9.5 rebounds. He finished at 11. Now in the NFL, we went 3-2. We missed Brock Purdy over 4.5 rush attempts. He had 1, and we missed his passing yards. I don't know what it was, but no, I don't think anybody broke 200. We had Kyron Williams over 72.5 rushing yards. Easy. Cooper Kupp under 72.5 receiving yards. He had 0. He had a big fat 0. And we had Ricky Pearsall under 16.5 receiving yards. That one got sweaty. He ended up with 16 on 1 catch. So, almost missed that one. But we'll take a 5-4 day after such a real crappy NFL game and a small 3-game NBA slate. So let's delve into this. So first game on the card is going to be the Pacers and the 76ers. Pacers on the road have been a complete fade. 76ers are not great, but we're going to have Embiid back. So I don't trust them for 6.5, I'll be honest. What I do like is that over 225.5. If we look at Philly, they're pace-wise, they're 25th in pace, 16th defensively. Pacers are 17th defensively and 7th in pace. For the Pacers, though, they are getting torched in the paint. They are 28th over the last 15 games in the paint, and they're getting crushed on corner threes. They are dead last in allowing the most corner threes in the NBA. The restricted area, they're not doing so hot. They're 21st there. So I think Embiid has a nice little day today if he plays. Who knows how long he plays. Flip side of the ball for the 76ers, very good in the paint. They're number 1 in the paint, 8th in corner threes. Pacers like to shoot a decent amount of threes, so give me, 76ers. I can't commit to -6.5. That said, Pacers just look like shit on the road, so I think it's -6.5 with Philly or pass, or you take the over. All right, next game. Actually, let's make sure there's no crazy injuries. Nesmith's out. Shepard's out. Okay, so we're good. Wizards and the Cavs. This is a lot of points, man. We're giving up a lot of points here. I want to lean towards Washington plus 17. That said, that's just a complete fave for me, to be honest. I would probably lean more towards taking like a Wizards team total over. I do think they have some success today. if we look at pace, it's going to be a decently paced game. Wizards are 4th in pace. Cavs are 14th, so we should see a decent pace. Problem is, defensively, the Wizards are terrible. 23rd overall defensively. That said, the Cavs, as dominant as they've been at 21-4, are still sitting 15th defensively. But it's pretty much across the board. They're just averaged against every single position. They do a little bit better in limiting centers, and they do a little worse in terms of power forward. But they're pretty much middle of the pack in, your 1, 2, and 3 spot. For the Wizards, point guards are torching them. I mean, absolutely torching them. They're 29th in points allowed to the point guard position, 26th in rebounds allowed, 27th in assists allowed, dead last in three-pointers. So, could be a great day to take Donovan Mitchell over his PRAs. The only concern here is just blowout and how much does he play. So I don't want to commit to taking anything with Donovan. If I would take anything, it would be over his 4.5 assist line. Wizards are 29th in rebounds allowed to the power forward position, which gives me great joy because I love taking me some Evan Mobley over rebounds. The line's 8.5. Give me that line. My only concern, he is a game time decision. He is a toss-up to play. So there is a chance he doesn't play. But worst case, we just push that bet. So give me Evan Mobley over 8.5 rebounds all day. On the Cleveland side of the ball, in terms of their defense, they give up a decent amount of rebounds to the power forward position as well as the shooting guard position. Point guard position, they give up a decent amount of points. So you could look at Jordan Poole over 19.5 points. Again, the blowout just makes me a little nervous on a line this high. But if he was going to hit that 19.5, this is probably the game he does it. And he probably, or you could look at over his three-pointers made. Cavs are 27th, giving up three-pointers to the point guard position. They do give up a decent amount of assists to the power forward position as well. But I am really not interested in touching much on this game other than my boy Evan Mobley. So let's get into the Lakers and the T-Wolves. This one, Lakers without LeBron James. They have, let's see, Anthony Davis's game time decision will probably play. Austin Reeves, game time decision, toss-up to play. Although based on the lines they have for D'Angelo Russell, I wouldn't be shocked if D'Angelo is starting today. They have some very aggressive lines for D'Angelo today. A lot of injuries on the Lakers side of the ball. Nothing crazy for Minnesota. Joe Ingles is going to be out, but he's been out. So nothing wild there. Lakers defensively, 18th overall defensively. Struggle against the small forward and the power forward position. We look at the T-Wolves. They are 12th overall. Do a pretty good job against everybody. Small forward has some success against them. In terms of pace, both teams are the exact same. 20th in pace. So, it's going to be a middle-of-the-road game. I would lean towards the under. If I had to lean towards anything, 213.5 I know isn't a big line, but without LeBron, I don't love this game. I mean, Minnesota minus 8.5 would be my number one pick. I think they blow their asses out of the water. So Minnesota minus 8.5, Lakers team total under, and then game under would be the way I would play that in that order. Lakers defensively, they are getting torched in points by the power forward position. They've done a decent job of limiting point guard points. So, if you're looking at Ant props today, I would say his assist is a good line. Pretty much assist against the Lakers is money. They are 28th overall in assists allowed. They're giving up, they're 25th to the point guard position, 27th to the shooting guard position, 29th to the small forward position, 25th to the power forward position. So they do a terrible job there in terms of rebounds allowed to the centers. They're 28th. So give me a little Rudy Gobert over 11.5 rebounds today. He did get 12 when they played them, I want to say December 3rd. So he hasn't crossed that line too much, actually. It's been a down year in rebounds for Rudy. Julius Randle's eaten a lot of his rebounds. So I think the rebound prop for Randle's a little elevated today, so I didn't want to go that route. But I like Gobert rebounds today. Minnesota side of the ball, really solid, like super solid defensively. Shooting guards, they're 29th in rebounds allowed to the shooting guard position. That's about it. 25th allowed in assists to the center position. But aside from that, they've just been very solid team. So, like I said, give me Minnesota minus 8.5. Lakers team total under, and then full game under. That's how I see that game. All right, Hornets and the Bulls. This one should be interesting. Miles Bridges is back today. So I think that'll be a nice infusion for this team. He's supposed to be back today. He's technically listed as game time decision. Everything I've read says he will play today. Ball is still out. Trey Mann is still out. I think both are coming back within the next week. So be interesting to see how Charlotte performs with all their guys back. So the Bulls play at a pretty frantic pace. They are third in pace. Hornets are 24th, which is surprising, actually. I would expect them to play a little quicker. Defensively, Hornets are 14th. Bulls are 19th. So I think we're going to see some points in this game. That's why we see an over-under of 231. Same thing I always say with the Hornets. I just don't necessarily trust them to make shots. But I would lean more towards that over in this spot and give me Chicago minus 5.5. In terms of plays I like, there's just really nothing. Anything, I would take Missick over his rebounds plus assist, but that line, his assist line's a little too high for me. 6.5, I would bite. 7.5, I just don't trust him enough. So that's it for me. Other than that, the plays were just not a great game. Nets and the Grizz. So in this game, we've got the Nets, who are a very slow-paced team at 28th, playing against the fastest-paced team in the Grizzlies. Defensively, they're both kind of mid defensive teams. Nets give up a lot of points to the small forward position. That's kind of the first thing that stands out. And they also give up a lot of assists to the small forward position. Other than that, really from a prop standpoint, nothing stood out. For the Grizzlies, they give up a decent amount of points to the small forward position, give up a lot of rebounds to the shooting guard position and the point guard position. So there could be some opportunities there. Guys like Dennis Schroeder, things like that. One of the things I was looking to fade last night was Dennis Schroeder under 7.5 assists. Unfortunately, I did not. I fell asleep, didn't get that bet in, and it jumped to 6.5 today. So GG there. Nothing crazy I love in this game, to be honest, from a props perspective. 11.5 line, I don't want to touch that. I think the over-under is pretty appropriately placed. I think, if anything, look at a Nets team total to go under would be my play there. All right, Clippers and the Nuggets. This one, I think, is going to be a pretty good game. There's some things I like in this game for sure. Clippers are 26th in pace. Nuggets are 5th, which in my mind, I would think that would actually be flipped. But playing in Denver, so that'll add a little element to this game. In terms of the Clippers, not great at points to the center position. 21st in points to the center position. Give up a lot of rebounds to the small forward position. So I do like Michael Porter Jr. over 6.5 rebounds at plus money today. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but as to why I like it, they do give up a lot of rebounds to the center, or assists to the center position. So could look at a Jokic over his assists, but it's probably 9.5, and I'm just going to fade that spot. If we go to the Denver side of the ball, they give up a lot of rebounds. 27th in rebounds allowed to the center position. You know I love some Zubac. So give me Zubac over 10.5. I expected this line to be 11.5. So in my mind, we're getting a 1 rebound discount. Give it to me. I'll take that all day. They also give up a lot of rebounds to the power forward position, where they're actually dead last. Denver does give up a ton of assists. 30th overall. Give up more assists over the last 15 games than any other team. Aside from the center, everybody else could feast on assist. Obviously, the first person you go to in your mind, James Harden. His line's sitting at 8.5. I just don't love it. Something I just can't take it. If anything, I would take his rebounds plus assist. Denver does a decent job limiting rebounds, but that would just be where I would trend. You could also look at his PRA too. That's one of the things I was looking at taking, but just going to pass on it. All right, we've got the Suns and the Jazz. Jazz at home, a little bit better than away. Actually, you know what? We didn't pick in the Denver game. It's a tough one. I can see it going both ways. Yeah, it's just a pass for me, if I had to be honest. I mean, Clippers are good, but Denver's really been kind of turning it up. It's just so perfectly placed, man. Screw that. It's just, don't even touch it, to be honest. The over-under is just perfect, both of them. All right, Suns and the Jazz. Suns -7.5. Durant will be back, so gang's all back together. Nurkic's supposed to play. Phoenix -7.5 seems like a discount here with their normal lineup. For the Suns, 22nd in pace. Jazz are 17th in pace. Jazz have a terrible defense. They're 20th defensively. Suns are 14th. Phoenix does give up a lot of points to the power forward in the center position. So I do like John Collins over his points today. That is an official play. And they give up a lot of rebounds. So give me Walker Kessler over his rebounds. He's been absolutely crushing that. We'll talk more about that. They also give up a ton of assists as well. So mainly to the power forward in the center position. On the Utah side, defensively, they give up a lot of points to the center position. So Nurkic could have a halfway decent day. They do give up a lot of points to the shooting guard position. So Devin Booker could be a shooter tonight. In terms of assist, they do give up 29th in assists. So Tyus Jones was one I was looking at. I want to say his line 6.5 and it's plus money. That ultimately may make the card. It didn't. I just need to do more research on that. Either him or Booker go over their assist line tonight. I just need to do a little more digging. Let's see. Nothing else really stood out in that one. It's a great spot to take Phoenix. I don't know how you don't take Phoenix in this one. Last game, Spurs and the Trailblazers. Spurs are 23rd in pace. Trailblazers are 10th. Trailblazers are terrible. Well, let's be honest. A 3.5 line against this team is a gift. So Spurs -3.5. Portland Trailblazers 25th defensively. We've seen double digits almost every game they play. They're a double-digit underdog. I know they're at home, but the Spurs team just way, way better. So give me the over, or -3.5, and I'll take the over 224.5. For the Spurs, defensively, give up a lot of boards to the small forward and the power forward position. Give up a decent amount of points to the center position as well as assist. They're 26th in assists allowed to the shooting guard position. So I guess there are some plays on Trailblazer side. I'm not touching them. Trailblazers on the other side of the ball give up. They're dead last in rebounds allowed to the small forward position. 25th overall in rebounds allowed. So they do give up a decent amount of rebounds as well as assists. So avenues there to make some plays, but nothing really I loved in this game. Chris Paul's line's a little overinflated. I think Wemby's lines are inflated. Just nothing I wanted to touch here. But let's get into best bets. Get you all on your way as we cruise into this Friday here. So first bets on the card. Jonas Valanciunas over 8.5 rebounds. A little scary because the blowout potential is so high, but he is starting now due to all the injuries they have. And in the last 2 games, he has had 12 and 14 rebounds. He's almost hit his rebound line by halftime. So I'll take that. We already talked about Evan Mobley. Give me his over 8.5 rebounds. He's over this in 8 of his last 10. He did get hurt in his last game. So he ended up with 3 rebounds because he got hurt, or I'm sure this would have been 9 of the last 10. He is a game time decision today. Washington dead last in rebounds allowed to the power forward position over the last 10 games. So absolutely give me that. Tyrese Maxey over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. He's over this in 5 of 6. His hit rate goes through the roof when Embiid plays. In terms of potential rebounds and potential assist, it jumps by over 2. So he's averaging 18.5 rebounds and assists in terms of the potentials. With Embiid in the lineup, it goes up to almost 21. So love this spot for him. Everything on Embiid looks good today, so I could definitely see him dishing a lot of assists to Embiid. Give me Ant-Man over 4.5 assists. Lakers are 27th in assists allowed to the shooting guard position, but they do a very good job of limiting points to the shooting guard position. So I do think he has to dish it off today. Rudy Gobert over 11.5 rebounds. He's only over this in 4 of his last 10 games. Very un-Rudy-like. But he did have 12 last game versus the Lakers. Lakers are 28th in rebounds allowed to the center position. We saw Bam Adebayo just make them look stupid. We had DeAndre Ayton. I want to say he got 19 rebounds in their last game they played. They're not going to have LeBron. It's just a different team without LeBron. So give me Rudy to go over. Zubac over his rebounds. 10.5 is just a beautiful line here. He's over this line in 6 of his last 10 games. Denver, we already talked about it. 27th in rebounds allowed to the center position. He's over this line in 8 of his last 10 away games. So kind of something to note. He actually rebounds a lot worse at home than he does away. Walker Kessler over 10.5 rebounds. He's over this in 4 straight games. He's had 20+ rebound chances in those last 4 games. So they've kind of tweaked their rotation, and whatever they're doing is working in terms of giving our boy Walker a lot of rebound chances. And I think he has a decent amount tonight against Phoenix too. John Collins over 16.5 points. He does most of his scoring in the paint. And Phoenix is 21st in defensive scoring in the paint. So they allow a ton of points in the paint. So it's a really good spot for John Collins to go over this line. He's been absolutely torching it on the point side. And then last play on the card, big plus play here. Michael Porter Jr. over 6.5 rebounds. So he's over this in 8 of his last 10 games. The issue was Aaron Gordon. How much was he going to steal his rebounds? But last 5 games with Aaron Gordon in the lineup, he's hit this line. Now he's hit it right on the number, but I do love him to get this today. I think there's going to be a decent amount of opportunities for rebounds. And on the flip side, right before I started the video, I was looking at some other things. Jokic rebound line went from 13.5 down to 12.5. So that makes me think that Porter's going to get some more rebounds because of that. So love all those spots. I've got 2, very juiced leans that I like today. It's going to be Bilal Coulibaly over 2.5 assists for Washington, juiced at -154 on DraftKings, and then Kobe White over 3.5 rebounds, also juiced at -154 on DraftKings, but 2 pieces that you can use maybe for a dance partner for something else. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Like I said, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Join the Discord, and I'll catch you in the next video.